I started doing nails because of COVID. Because after everything started closing, and I was like, well, what's better than just to learn and go to school while I had the time? When I first started doing them, it wasn't work. I would just do like my friends' nails, I'll do my own nails, and it was mostly just like practicing. So I started realizing when I was making like my friends happy, and even other people started coming up to me and was like, oh, do you do nails? My first 4 months was all free. Like I made sure that it was just strictly the self-care aspect. And even now that I do have a business, I still choose one person in the community once a month to get their nails done for free. So I try to make sure that everyone's mental health is like priority when it comes to like doing nails. It's my way of giving back. Hi, I'm Divina-nicole Jerome Pelletier. I'm a proud transgender Mi'kmaq woman. I'm also the very first transgender business owner in Gaspé Coast, and I live in Gaspé. It was a huge culture shock at first because I didn't really grow up in the community. I would come every summer. So it started out as a vacation, and then it was only supposed to be 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks turned into a month, and then a month turned into 2 months. Realizing how much family I do have up here, the scenery alone, how beautiful the community is, and how like when we do come together, we come together. My mom was scared for me at first. I grew up listening to like the stories from when she was here, how hectic it was, especially towards Two-Spirit people. After the 2 months hit, I was like, Mom, you don't have to worry about nothing. Everyone knows that I'm gay, and everyone accepted me for just who I was.
I'm Nicole Condo Jerome. We just had each other's back. You know, we both didn't grow up here, but we're from here. So when we got together, it was like we were able to connect through our differences with like our own people.
It started at the youth center. I got a job there because I thought it was an easy job. Because I found out it wasn't. Working with youth is very stressful. But a good side of that though was that because I was out as a gay man at the time, I was my authentic self. So then when kids were at that curious stage and they're like, well, you know what, maybe I'm gay or I'm lesbian or I'm trans, it gave them the chance to actually speak to someone who is part of the LGBT community. The most like heartwarming part was they knew that they could trust me so they can talk to me, and then seeing them blossom to be who they are now. My proudest moment was working on the Two-Spirit Identities book. Not only was I part of like creating it, but I was also there through all the interviews. I only realized I was trans because there was a child in the book series that we did who came out as trans. And I was like, well, if this 8-year-old can come out as trans, why can't I come out as trans at 27? By listening to other people's stories, you start to realize like who you are so you're comfortable in your own body. After the book happened, and a lot of our stories in between Gaspé and Listugush came up, people were like, oh, there are Two-Spirit people here. And it's good for other people to realize that there are struggles within the community too, just because being Two-Spirit, it's a struggle just trying to come out.
Because she's just a force. It's like when you see something colorful, you get stuck on it. And she's just bright and full of life.
Being Mi'kmaq is actually really a thing. I knew that I was Indigenous, but in the States, like where I was from, they didn't really talk about it as much, and I didn't really know as much about like the culture side of it until I moved up here. We have the Mauyomis at the school, where it's pretty much just a mini version of a powwow. They still teach you like about smudging and like what sage is used for and the 7 teachings. I'm still learning. Yeah, even though I've been here for so long, it's like you find something new in the culture every time.
She's always been my backbone, you know? Like if I ever needed help or I ever needed someone, she was always there for me.
I like the whole aspect of teaching the kids because they get so excited when they learn something new or when you show them something different. And I love that they're honest. They say what's on their mind. If I could tell Indigenous youth one thing, it's to always be your authentic self.